So I'm going to give my love in its fullest form to this interaction. Because you want to know something that's crazy? When you start giving your fullest love in the moment, you stop having so many lessons. A lot of us go through lessons and so many failed relationships because we aren't giving enough to the ones that we're in, and we're trying to hop on to the next one. What's that saying? The grass is greener where you water it. Yo, what's going on, my beautiful ladies, my men too, if y'all watching this video. This video in particular, right, is to give my ladies a little bit more guidance on how to treat their man, what their man may be looking for, some of the things that they could be going through, and bridging that gap between the masculine and the feminine energy. You feel me? So this video is not to bash you guys. It's not to do anything like that. And the intent of this video is to bring more unity and love because we're just lacking communication and understanding with each other. So let's get right into it. Now, the very first chapter in this is understanding his silence, right? Men react to adversities, conflict, and just those realms of life a lot differently than women do sometimes. When we get into these instances where we're overwhelmed, where we're just being suffocated by life, we tend to go silent. We tend to remove ourselves. We are looking to release that sense of, urgency, worry, stress, whatever the case may be. We're not necessarily looking to resolve the problem. We're looking to remove it from our lives completely. A one plus one equals two. We feel like this and we don't want to feel like this, so we remove it, right? That's the very first principle. Now, the feminine, on the other hand, the ways that they're going to react to that is they're typically going to try to go a little bit deeper into that resolution. They're not going to so much want to relieve it because their mind is wired to, well, why is this like this? Well, is this teaching me something? Is this showing me something? So you guys' reaction to your man going silent, you may view that as, oh, he doesn't love me, he doesn't, just whatever the case may be, when that's typically not the case. Sometimes he just needs space to think. And if you guys were to create more safe spaces with your partners and your men, you will see that they actually do come to you guys when they need it. A lot of men typically go into these sheltered headspaces after they've tried to exhibit some type of vulnerability, they've tried to exhibit some type of emotion to you, and you ignore them. You put it on the back burner, and that's going to always cause some type of resistance when it comes to him trying to open up his feelings to you, because men by nature aren't emotional. By nature, we're more in our physical frame. So in order for us to get emotional, you have to literally pull out the depths of our emotions, which requires what? Vulnerability. And it's the same thing that with you guys, when in our women, you guys understand clearly. You guys aren't going to give a man your emotions, get all emotional and all this other type of stuff. If you don't feel like it's safe, you're probably not even going to go over there. It's the same way with men, but our feminine energy is buried underneath our masculine energy. So when we start acting out of our feminine emotions, you guys should be able to acknowledge what's kind of happening right there. We're operating in your playing field. So that's the very first thing that I really want to touch on, because we react to situations differently. And if you aren't aware that we react to situations differently, you're going to start causing problems where there aren't problems. Like distance versus processing, right? That's another thing we have in these notes right here. Sometimes men just need enough time to understand what's going on. They need enough time to think. They need enough time to make things logical. Yes, men have that feminine nature to us, or we can go with the flow, but there's going to become a certain point where we try to make this as easy to look at in the simplest form so we can compartmentalize it into our life. So if you just hit us with something outrageous, and I'm not even saying something outrageous, it can literally be something, relatively simple, right? But when we're coming to emotions, it becomes harder once, certain levels of emotions come in. But let's say you're like, hey, I don't like this trait. I don't like when you do this. I don't like when you say this, right? And he goes silent. You can mistake that as, oh, he's being distant and he's not hearing what I'm saying to him. But sometimes him stepping back and him going quiet could be him actually thinking. He doesn't want to move forward or say anything that may prevent any more forward progression. So he's analyzing where he's truly standing. That is a gift of most men. Analyzing. We can take ourselves out of our body and look exactly where we're at with an honest introspection. And that honest introspection allows us to move forward. Once we can think it through, okay, this is actually where I'm at. I can acknowledge that something's not right. What do I need to do to get into that alignment? We kind of turn our emotions off for a second. So when a man is processing, please, 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 please don't start badgering him and calling him the villain and all this other type of stuff. Sometimes he may need an hour. Sometimes he may need a couple minutes. Sometimes he may need a couple days, and then revisit the conversation. Hey, are you in a space to talk about this? Hey, has anything else came to your mind? This is still kind of bothering me. When would you like to talk about it? Just encourage it. Don't force it. let the progression build. And as long as it's a conscious awareness that, hey, this is a conversation we need to have, it's going to eventually happen. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Now, this next part right here is actually very important, right? Leadership, right? And then when it comes in, and it's more of a specific part in leadership, it's the respect and the reassurance thing, right? A lot of our beautiful queens out here, a lot of you beautiful women, you guys are mistaking reassurance for respect, right? What do I mean by this? A lot of men don't need you under him telling him how much you love him, how much you just how it just you're just so in love and all this other type of stuff. Because to be honest with you, he might think you're lying to a certain extent, right? He may think you're trying to love bomb him or something like that. Reassurance is needed. When he's in those down moments, give him those words of encouragement. Hey, I'm not gonna leave you. Hey, yes, I know that you're going through something right now, but I still view you as the same man. That right there, that's reassurance. But the respect is what men truly need and what men truly feel like just live off of. Respect looks like, I don't agree with what you're doing. I don't agree with the decision you're about to make, but I respect your ability to make decisions for the household and our relationship. So I'm going to let you do what you do, and then we'll deal with the consequences afterwards. But you're aware that I don't agree with this. That's respect. Not trying to change anything about him, not trying to belittle him. I'm going to let you be the man that I got into a relationship with. If you got into a relationship with a man, I would really hope you got into a relationship with a man that you trusted. So if you're getting into a relationship with a man that you trust, why in the hell are you not allowing him to be the man? Why are you not allowing him to go through trial and error? Why are you badgering him when he makes mistakes? Because mistakes is a core foundation in any man. No great man became a great man off straight W's. It took a lot of L's. It took a lot of years of hard work, adversity, focus, discipline, a lot of things that scope the man into who he needs to be in order to get that W. Because sometimes it only takes one W to change the whole trajectory of things. And it's just a constant ripple effect because once he learns how to get that W, he's more than likely going to rinse and repeat masculine nature. But that comes with you respecting his path, respecting his leadership, respecting his ability to see forward, to stay in obedience with his God. Because if he's being obedient to his Lord, God is going to teach him lessons, but you're trusting his connection to source to be so strong that he's not going to fall off alignment just because he had to learn something or he made a mistake or things don't look the way that you guys necessarily want it to. Trusting your man's divine alignment and his path, his purpose is what's going to allow that relationship to formulate, because it's always going to come down to how that man thinks you view his life. It's kind of like you're judging his life, in other words. And it's the same thing with the men, right? When it comes down to respecting our ladies, that is the same thing. I don't think you should wear that outside, right? That looks like you're garnering a whole bunch of attention, right? But you are your own individual. So you're going to do what you do. But if anything happens beyond, you know, what we just agreed upon, or something happens and I foresaw it happening, there's going to be a problem or there's going to be some type of repercussions. But you can do what you want to because I respect your ability to make decisions as a sovereign individual. Respect and reassurance and all this other type of stuff has never been a one-way street, which is why I think a lot of these relationships get messed up, because a lot of the principles that's needed to build relationships, it correlates between both genders: respect, love, loyalty, kindness, forgiveness. That goes on both sides. If one side's having it and the other side isn't, it's going to be like nobody has it. The respect is very crucial for man. It's completely different than reassurance. It's literally how you're moving, how you're just holding space in his life with your feminine energy and allowing him to be the man. Now, something I'd actually do want to help you guys kind of get a little bit of perspective of is how to respect and follow his leadership without losing your sense of self. Because a lot of women, unfortunately, when an unhealed feminine is on the hunt for a man, she's going to attract an unhealed masculine. Let me make this very clear. A lot of women think that they can find a man that will make them whole, make them like full, and make them the woman that they need to be. When an unhealed woman tries to get a relationship, she's going to simply attract who she is and where she's at. She's not going to get that elevated man that she's going to just, because he's not looking at that type of woman. He's also looking at the more elevated type of woman that he's encountering in his life, right? That's a very, very, very key thing to remember. So when it comes to like holding your sense of liberation and your femininity while your man is doing what he needs to, it looks like having your own passions. It looks like probably having your own job. It looks like, having your own set of friends. It looks like instilling certain things in your life that makes you whole, right? And then as you guys build like collectively together as a team, you guys will notice that the paths start to coexist a little bit more. What do I mean by this? Let's my life, for example, right? I make a lot of content and stuff like that. I want a partner who also makes content, right? She can be making content about whatever she wants to. She can be doing whatever she wants to. But I want to be able to get on camera, have fun with my counterparts, right? She can go have her own job. She can do what she can invest into her own things. She can invest into her own endeavors. That is perfectly fine. But if I'm actually aligned with my woman and she's aligned with me, and we're creating content together, it's going to get to a point where she doesn't need to go to work. She doesn't need to do all of these type of things. And she's just following in the strong leadership of having a partner next to her who can help her bring her mission to life. You see, partnership needs to be the key word, not leadership. Leadership, I agree. We need to lead our women, right? Give them sense of direction and all that other type of stuff. Yeah, blah, 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 right? But partnership is so much stronger than any type of leader, dictator, or anything like that. Because partnership allows two people to grow as sovereign individuals in alignment to one trajectory. So this person started right here. This person started right here. They both said, hey, we want to end up right here. So instead of us going our own ways and just let's come right here and go up. So simple, because that's usually what happens. And I think this is a very known saying too. Two minds is a lot stronger than one. A lot of us, a lot of our queens out here, you guys are trying to run up bags. You guys are trying to be like really ambitious. And I respect it. I understand it. You guys have to provide. You guys have to do that. I understand the hustle that the queens, there's this boss life, this boss lady lifestyle. I do. But I really do want you guys to understand how much easier things would be if you had a man who was aligned to you, not any man, because if I told you, I'm not telling you to go get any man. Sometimes you are better off single doing it yourself. But a man who's aligned to you might like the same things, might like some, or sometimes he may be doing something that you want to do. Have that level of self-esteem to approach him and try joining. Can you teach me? Can we actually do something together? That type of bond with your man will create such a unity and love. I've seen it so many times. I've seen it so many times. When you align with the man who's for you, you like catapult. Like, I've been in relationships with, matter of fact, talking about being in a relationship with a girls who, did content. I remember I was in a relationship with a girl who did content before. And what happened? I started to teach her how to edit. I started saying, be like, hey, I bought this subscription. I'm actually in school for editing. You posting YouTube videos and stuff like that. Let me make you a logo so you can put this logo on your videos and, start branding yourself. Let me give you this stock website so you can go get, B-roll and music for your videos and stuff like that. Let me give you what you need. I'm still about to be on my path. I'm still doing what I need to do. I'm still building my business. But baby, this is like little small, this is like small nuggets that's just part of being connected to me. So here, of course, do what you got to do. And I think I saw her YouTube channel probably like a year or two ago. Probably like, I think it's been posting like 2 years, something like that. And one of her videos actually worked. I'm not sure where the channel's at now, but it's all blessings. I hope she's just been, you feel me? Because that's what I'm talking about. When two people are agreed on one certain path, something's going to spark because gems are being planted on both sides. And when you walk outside and you realize how many more people is like the people that we're reminiscing over, And I now look, I'm not telling you to go outside and just be a complete man whore or woman whore, whatever the case may be, because you understand that there's a whole lot of people outside. Don't do that. But what I am saying to you, allow yourself to live a little bit. Find the ones who are truly meant for you. If somebody else was able to get a certain quality, a certain type of partner, I'm almost certain if you opened your eyes and you really went after it, you could get it too. It's always been like that. It's always been like that. But we're settling for people who aren't aligned to us and then wondering why we can't fall into our sense of individuality because in order to be with this person, I have to be somebody I'm not. That's going to always make you feel like you're being controlled or you're in some type of toxic relationship because the man isn't aligned to you. When you're aligned to the man and the man's aligned to you, it's like fun. It's like almost I've been asking for this. You're literally helping me do the shit I wanted to do this whole time. Whether it's find peace, nutrition, fitness, healing, just perspective on life, spirituality. There's so many different areas. Find the right partner. Now, this next part that we're touching on is healing the father wound. Our father wounds is very important from both man and women, right? But when it comes to intimate relationships, the man's mother wounds typically show more than the man's father wounds when he's dealing with women, vice versa. A woman's father wounds is going to show more when she's dealing with her man than her mother wounds. So, if you had a dad who wasn't there, right? For my life, right? My mom and my dad, they separated, broke up. Things happened. My dad went upstate, like 13, 16 hours away. Was only able to see him during the summers. You feel me? If I was able to go that summer, he wasn't there. If the same thing happened necessarily with my sister's dad, right? He didn't up and leave, states or anything like that, but he's just not in the household. If you got abandoned from your masculine figure, and you never brought perspective to the situation to understand that maybe he wasn't abandoning you, he was probably abandoning your mother, or he was probably abandoning the situation in totality because he was dealing with his own mental health problems and it had nothing to necessarily do with you. Now when it does come to you, because every father should be in their child's life, acknowledging what actually happened, not holding a level of resentment, being able to be like, okay, at a certain point, I'm a grown adult. I'm full. At a certain point, I don't need you here to literally change my diaper. And it's like, okay, I can learn these things as I grow now. We have awareness, right? So I don't have to guilt you for anything because now my life is in my responsibility. When you're an adolescent and your life is in their hands, you can for sure pass the blame. You can for sure pass some accountability because it's like I can't make no moves without you. But once you get to that point where you can make those moves, it's not up to them to heal whatever went down within you, which it should be, but it's really not. It's up to you. And once you can acknowledge, okay, my dad left, he probably wasn't there. I may have a perspective about all men now that they're going to abandon me one day. So how does that show? That looks like self-sabotage. That looks like you breaking up with him before he breaks up with you. That looks like the fear of abandonment, accusing him of cheating, accusing him of doing things that he's really not doing. That looks like mm, abandonment issues shows in a lot. That looks like you trying to hold on to the relationship too hard. That looks like you being so scared that this person may leave, you start overdoing it. You start overgiving yourself. You start pouring yourself into places that you wouldn't have poured into prior solely to keep this person from leaving you. However, your attachment was to you know, that opposite energy, the masculine feminine, that's going to have a root in your relationships. My mommy issues, right? Every single time I try to bring up my emotions, every single time I try to talk about what I'm going through, every single time I've tried to be like, Mom, like I'm going through, it could always turned into like some type of argument or chaos, especially if she felt like she was the reason why it was happening. If she felt like she had to take some accountability, an argument started before the actual conversation. Like it was a pattern. There was always going to be an argument before the conversation happened. So when I got into my actual relationships and I started dealing with people, I was very hesitant to actually speak my mind and get into certain levels of conflict, or not even certain levels of conflict. I was scared to just say what was on my heart, be like, this is what I'm feeling emotionally and this is what I need done and or changed. I wouldn't say those things to people because I thought that immediately I was going to get yelled at, and the connection was going to get severed, and it was just going to be done right then and there, all because I said that they're doing something that I don't like or I want them to do something better. The relationship was going to be done. That's what I internalized, and I'm still unpacking that. Being able to get vulnerable, being able, especially as a man, they already, like, I'm telling you guys, men, there's so many different factors that we go through that will make us silent, that will make us not talk, that would make us kind of hardball. But once you understand that, okay, mommy issue, like figured, like mommy daddy issues exist, and you don't view your partner from certain lenses, you view them as humans. You start bringing grace and perspective to certain situations, and you start bringing it with yourself as well. Because once I start acknowledging, like, oh, I'm probably not saying what's on my heart for real. The next time I get into a chance where that is an opportunity, I'm going to say exactly what's on my heart in the realest way. You get what I'm saying? It all comes from a level of self accountability and a level of self awareness, and being able to look back and see why certain things is playing out in your life. Everything has a correlation, and a lot of things start in the household. You want to know why it starts in the household? Because that's where it literally started. You came out your mama's belly, you sat in her arms for like a couple hours, you got put in a little tube or a little incubator or some shit like that for like a couple more hours, something like that. Then they sent your ass home. And then that's where it started. That's where you got put into bed. That's where you started smelling the cooked food. That's where you started hearing normal conversations, not the ones where everybody's in the hospital room with you, man, just coddling you like, oh my God, we just have a baby. No, now it's real. We at home. The arguments, the siblings, the kids, the neighbors, all the life starts happening. That's when the true learning process happens, the moment you come home. So, unpack your childhood and you'll be able to have better relationships. And I know it's not easy, ladies. I know it's not easy because you're going to feel like an asshole sometimes. You're going to be noticing certain times where you're like, damn, I was the problem. I caused this to happen. Like, damn. Well, is it too late to go fix it? Nah. Like you gonna have those type of urges within you, and that's completely normal. You wanna know why that's normal? Because it's called accountability. You hold yourself accountable, you're like, damn, maybe I was the problem. Now, if I'm the problem, then it might be my responsibility to fix it. Hmm. Okay. Well, let's go. But if you don't have that type of accountability, it's not gonna happen. Ever. Now, when a man's pride starts getting involved in the relationship, and you're his feminine queen, you're his divine partner, and you're trying to tell him something, you like, brother, don't do that. Or why are you doing this? Like you're trying to like give him that encouragement, but he's being so prideful in his manliness that he's not listening to you. This is what you do. There is an easy way to break all that shit down. And I'm not gonna say test him, but when a man is being prideful, hit him with a test. And it's crazy that I'm like encouraging this, but we need to be real with ourselves sometimes. If you're being so prideful that you're willing to put our relationship on the line to uphold your pride, this ain't a relationship I want to be in. So then you need to approach him. The ways that you're acting right now is not okay. I need these type of things changed if you want me to feel safe and continue to have the respect for you that I do and love you in certain ways. I need you to at least be open to working with me on certain levels and at least change something. Stop doing this, change, do something, whatever the case may be. If he looks at you dead in your face and say, I ain't changing shit, this is my program, get loose. I'm not gonna tell you to stay in there. There's another man who's going to hear exactly what you say and change it. Period. Period. Point blank. You're not gonna go through that shit. And this is coming from a man. You're not gonna go through it. Right? Now, on the vice versa, if he looks at you dead in your eyes, and he sees the seriousness. Oh, this woman is really about to leave me. This woman is dead ass right now. And he's like, wait a second. Okay, wait. Let me take 2 steps back. What do you need? I didn't even realize I was acting in a way that was literally about to make me lose my relationship. His pride immediately went down, and now you're at a playing field that you can build from because people are holding each other accountable. But if he's being prideful and you're not holding him accountable, you got to hit him with something to snap him out of that. Like, brother, look right here. Like, sometimes you have to bring your man's attention back onto you. And I know that this is crazy because, they'd be like, oh, I don't want to have to compete for my man's attention. Also, men are naturally pulled by a lot. Our purpose, our visions, other women too. It's not one of those things where we're just oblivious to all of it. Our women, our girl has to literally be on her 10. And I'm not saying she has to be perfect, but when she's like, he's drifting right now, I can easily get his attention back to where it needs to be. Because if you know your man, you know what he likes, you know his triggers, you know the things that could possibly get his attention back onto you. And if you're actually aligned, if you're actually operating from your feminine energy, you're going to use that, because it's almost like a superpower to steer him back to where you want him. We just agreed that we're going to go in this certain direction and we're going to end up right here. So I'm going to use my feminine nature to it to encourage you to drift you back to over here. It, it's in the subtleties of you guys' feminine nature. It's like it's a lot of men say this, right? They be like, it comes down to how you talk to us. You can say something if you said it with a heightened tone and your body energy was all over the place. We thinking we talking to another dude. We're like, I don't even like this isn't something I'm about to entertain. Like yeah, we start getting nonchalant with you. But if you approach like how I said beforehand, where you be honest with them, you bring out that feminine energy, like baby, I really need you to like change this. Like I really need you type this because this is if you're doing this and this is causing a problem, you're gonna get a different reaction out of that man. He's going to do things a lot different than if you was to just come at him sideways, just badger him, hit him into the ground. Your feminine energy can easily pull your man exactly where you need him. Men are kind of very simple. Men are simple. We said this for the longest. We're simple. You understand how to pull our energy and you're a healthy feminine queen. You could be like, he wants to get right there. If I do this, the chances of him getting what he actually wants goes up. Let me just do this real quick. And you don't even gotta tell him. You just do it. And then all of a sudden he's walking around this day. He's doing what he needs to. He's getting things done. And he's sitting there like, oh my God, I don't know where this confidence came from. Things just feel so amazing. I'm getting shit done. And you're sitting there in the back like the queen you are. Just like, yeah, congratulations, babe. I'm so happy for you. Yes, can you keep going? Keep going. Is there anything else I could do to help? Long and behold, you were the whole reason it worked in the first place. You get what I'm saying? You guys gotta know how to use that feminine energy to a T. It's like people say it's a game. It is, right? But you can use game to actually like love right. You don't have to use it to manipulate and send people into the dirt and make them do what you want. You can use it to empower people. If you instill certain levels of self-esteem, you instill certain levels of confidence, you instill certain disciplines, certain routines, certain habits, etc. Those are things where it's like you literally change that person's life for the better. That's never a bad thing. That's never a bad thing. But if the man is too prideful to allow that type of divine structure into his life, you got to get loose. I'm sorry. And I speak for the men, I speak for my women too. But we have to be honest, it doesn't matter what gender it is, if they're not ready for a relationship, don't be in one with them because you're only hurting yourself as the person who actually wants the relationship. Don't do that. And, and that really ties into how women also struggle with being soft without feeling weak. A lot of women, unfortunately, you guys think that by you just loving a man, allowing your emotions to come out, you're belittling or degrading yourself. But from a masculine headspace, we see a woman who's clear on what she wants. And that brings us so much peace. That brings us so much enjoyment, knowing that we don't have to figure out our woman, right? When she's soft, she's telling you what she doesn't like. She's telling you what she does like. She's telling you, I want more of this. Oh, I like the way you did that. Like, oh, can you come do this from like I need help. Or oh, can we please talk? Like I'm just or just something like that. She's being soft, she's being in her feminine. That is is a gift. Because once again, we look at a woman doing that, and after we done went through so many nonchalant women, women who don't know what they want, women who are guarded, we get drained by that type of interaction. But when she's soft, she's kind of just like she gives off that innocent energy. And I'm not saying that she look, and let me make this clear too. Innocent does not mean that she doesn't go through anything or you haven't went through anything. Innocence means I've went through things probably. I'm aware that it could happen again, but I love myself enough to know that I'm full regardless of if it happens again. So I'm going to give my love in its fullest form to this interaction. Because you want to know something that's crazy? When you start giving your fullest love in the moment, you stop having so many lessons. A lot of us go through lessons and so many failed relationships because we aren't giving enough to the ones that we're in and we're trying to hop on to the next one. What's that saying? The grass is greener where you water it. If you stay in it and if you truly give to it, that relationship has a higher chance of making it into the later stages of life, long term, live until we die type of marriage, than if you were to half step and only give part of your emotions to see how they react to it. And then if they don't react to you literally breadcrumbing your emotions the way that you wanted them to, you get loose. It's like, okay, counterproductive. That softness, we cherish that. We do. And that makes us want to protect you because we're not oblivious to. Men provide and protect. When we see a woman operating in her soft energy, in her innocence, we're aware of how vulnerable she is. A healed masculine man is not going to want to put her in danger. We're going to see that type of softness and be like, wait a second, come here. Like, whoa, come here. Like, I need to make sure that stays soft because you know how many men and things out here is trying to ruin that type of softness. You gotta come here, stay right here, because I'm going to make sure you don't get bruised more. You feel me? We see like a true man, a true provider sees when a woman is soft, vulnerable, loving, caring, kind, and we want to bring it closer to keep it that way. But when you're viewing that as being weak, you're like completely negating the man's human biology. It's in our nature to provide and protect. So when a man is providing and protecting, if that makes you feel weak, I can understand if maybe you were a man and it was another man providing and protecting for you. I could get that. But you are a woman with a man. That is literally his job to make sure you don't have to be hardball like that. Because hardball, you're losing your feminine touch. You're losing your emotional core, your sensitivity. You can't be deeply sensitive, deeply spiritual, deeply just connected like that to your root, to your core, and you're hardball because you're blocking so many emotions out to begin with because you don't want to give yourself the space to feel it. Why? Because you think you're weak. And what happens when you think you're weak? You think you're going to get taken advantage of. You feel like you're vulnerable. But if you're in a space, once again, with a man that's healed, at least somewhat, and can acknowledge your qualities without you even having to say anything, You shouldn't have to tell a man how kind, loving, respect. You shouldn't have to tell him that. He should see it in you and be and acknowledge it. You are very like, damn, okay. That should make you feel liberated to know that somebody can see your worth without you having to tell them it and cherish it enough to want to protect it. That does not make you weak. That makes you human, for one, and that makes you the divine feminine. Think of like the bees and all this other type of shit. The queen bee, she's sitting in the hive. She's sending the men out to go get all the shit for it. Why? Because she understands she is so divine. If she gets hurt, something happens to her, it's fucking all it is. It's messing everything else. No, queen, you stay there. Let us do what we got to do. We're gonna make sure you are okay. You need honey, cool. You need pollen, whatever. We gonna go get that for you. Let's come on. It's simple shit. It's simple shit, you guys. Don't please get out of this headspace of thinking man is out here to hurt you guys and kill you guys. Just all this other type of stuff. Like, find the right man. And the right man is going to do what he can to make sure you live the life that you are supposed to. He's going to hold your hand in the moments you need him to hold your hand. But that's if you allow him to hold your hand. That's if you allow him to do that. If you do, he may take you somewhere. But, and this is why I said the sensitive individuality in the earlier stages of the video. Once you know yourself, you're in tune with your emotions, your true feminine pull, that true masculine pull becomes so much clearer. You're not confused by little boys and all this other type of shit because it's like, you guys aren't even doing it for me anymore. I don't even feel the connection. When I'm with this certain dude, when I'm around this certain energy, I feel it. Why? Because I'm so in tune with myself. I feel like I can be soft. I feel like I can be myself. I feel like I can express and love and just go through my ups and downs and just live. Man, that's the man that you need to choose. It all comes from alignment. You attract what you are. If you're being hardballed, if you're being stubborn, if you're being emotionally blocked off, you're going to attract somebody like that. Period. Or you're going to attract that interaction because people have the ability to treat you how you're acting. You could be dealing with the right person, but if you're acting funny, you're going to get the funny out of that person. But if you approached with and you brought a better energy, they might have brought it too. Everybody's mirroring each other nowadays. A lot of things isn't this, I'm so different in it. We're mirroring. It's literally a mirror. We're doing probably the same shit to each other and then getting mad at the other person that is happening. Like, ugh, grow up. So if this video helped y'all understand men better in any type of facet, go down in the comments, let me know how you guys think about it. If you guys have anything that you guys want to talk about, and send it to your man or any other homegirls. I'm pretty sure your man could tell you, like, he's spinning facts, he's telling the truth. I've been wanting to ask you to do a couple of these things. I just didn't know how to ask you. And a couple of your homegirls may be on the verge of losing their relationship and they not telling you. You just need to send them this video so they don't come to you crying in 2 weeks and now you have to go buy her ice cream and shit because she just can't get out of bed and shit like that. Give them the game. I gave you the game, pass it on. You feel me? And I also have my guided healing, guided meditation, all that other type of stuff. It's just a healing shop down in the description with different products, different ebooks that you guys can go down and read and just really get deeper study material. I feel like some people, they learn different. Some people learn a lot better from these videos and voice and all that type of stuff. Some people learn a lot better just by simply reading it. And I made it very, very easy for you guys. It's all digital. So that being said, I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys. We're going to be coming out with more podcasts soon, too. There's going to be more guests on this channel. We're just organizing all of that, really, really filling out the space. But there's going to be a lot more of that type of content for you guys. I know y'all are rocking with it. Clips are going crazy. So, yeah, man. That being said, I love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all. I'm going to see y'all in the next video whenever I record it. Peace.